Happy Friday, everybody, and welcome to Undisputed, live from Los Angeles. I'm Jen Hale, here with Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharp. Very happy this morning. He's in Atlanta.
Why would he be happy?
Good morning.
No,
Happy because
don't
of
do
what?
That, Skip.
I want to know why you're happy.
Skip, don't do that. You know why I'm happy.
I don't know.
4 cases of dew. 4 cases of dew.
Really? I don't,
Yes.
seriously, number one, I think you're gloating about your pre-finals pick of, wasn't it Golden State in 6 that you picked? That's what I thought. That's what I thought I remember, but I could be wrong. And number two, speaking of number two, I don't even remember you accepting that bet. I remember I said, okay, I'll do this. I'm not sure I remember.
Yes.
Okay.
Skip, if I'm not mistaken, I picked the final score.
Did you?
I think I had 114 to, I think I had 114 to 110 or 114, 108. I think I was around those numbers.
Oh,
Honestly,
around
seriously.
those numbers. Oh, now we're around those numbers. Okay, I'm impressed.
Steve is checking. Skip, I know you were expecting me to come out here and gloat, have on a Kawhi jersey, have my cornrow wig.
Yeah.
Skip, I'm not a gloater. I'm not like that. It's just the look on your face right now, having to talk about Kawhi Leonard as a champion.
Yeah, I'm just fine.
Yeah, no, you're not.
Because I'm going to remind you, that's the same guy when he was a Spur that you used to ridicule when I made the case during the 2017 playoffs that he had eclipsed LeBron James as a two-way player. Yeah. And you were scoffing at him, and all of a sudden you're driving his bandwagon. I wonder why that is. That's interesting to me.
You two.
Okay. Don't do that, Skip.
All right, let's get right into Game 6. Give you a little inside look at what they're talking about. Biggest moment of the game late in the third. Danny Green fouled Klay Thompson. Klay goes down awkwardly, heads to the locker room, but wait for it. He comes back out to shoot his free throws, then leaves the game for good after scoring 30 points. In the closing seconds with Warriors down by 1, Steph Curry, misses that potential game-winning 3. Draymond Green ultimately snags the loose ball, but he calls a timeout the Warriors do not have. Technical foul. The Raptors held on for the 114-110 victory, with Kawhi Leonard winning his second career Finals MVP award. Of course, the first championship in Raptors history. Congratulations to Toronto. Shannon, what was your reaction to last night's victory?
Well, Skip, is kind of marred because it's so disappointing to see Klay go down like he went down. Skip, he had it going. And you've said on several occasions, although Steph had been a 2-time MVP, he can't heat up like Klay Thompson can. We've never seen anybody get as scorching hot as this kid can in a matter of seconds. And Skip, you knew he had it going early, but you really knew with 20 seconds on the shot clock, I think it was either Draymond or Iggy, passed him a ball up the court. And from 30 feet, he takes one dribble and lets it go. I say, Toronto's in trouble. And then a few minutes later, he ends up going down with the knee. But Skip, the reason why the Raptors are the champs of 2019 is they're balanced. You look at this, Kawhi had 22, Siakam had 26, Kyle Lowry had 26, Van Fleet had 22, and Serge Ibaka had 15. And what we saw in Game 6 is what we saw I think it was Game 2, is that Kyle Lowry kept them attached early in the first quarter when it seemed like Golden State wanted to pull away, kind of like Klay kept the Warriors attached in Game 2 when Toronto was trying to pull away. So you had that going because Kyle Lowry couldn't miss, Skip. He was turning around, letting shots go, and I'm like, oh, my goodness. And we've never seen this before, Skip. You and I touched on this. We've never seen a player like Kyle Lowry play so much better on the road than he does at home. Role players normally play better at home. Most players play better at home. We've never seen anything like what Kyle Lowry does because he's a night and day player from home to on the road. But it was the balanced attack. I'm looking at Siakam, and I'm like, Siakam, he could not take Kevon Looney off the bounce in the first quarter. I tweeted, if he can't take Kevon Looney off the bounce, man, the Raptors going to be in trouble. Skip, the most important moment of the ball game, they put the ball in his hands. He takes Draymond off the bounce. I'm like, are you kidding me? And then they turn it over to Van Fleet. Skip, how does a guy score 14 points against Philly and score 12 points in a Game 6 in an NBA Finals? I don't know what was going on maybe in the fourth quarter. Yeah. Skip, maybe there was something going on with his wife and the child. Maybe there was some complication, and that was on his mind. But from Milwaukee, from the first 2 rounds of, who was that? I think they played Orlando, Philly the second round. And from Milwaukee, like game 3 from Milwaukee on, Skip, he's been unbelievable. But the balance of Toronto, and that's what you have to have, Skip, your superstar player is not going to go get you. Okay, Kevin Durant, he did that in his finals. I think he averages like 33 points a game in the finals. But sometimes when your superstar players struggle, Skip, you need the other players, the auxiliary players, to carry some of the load. And they did that in this finals. Kyle, like I said, in this game. And that was the reason that they won. They had 6 players average double figures in the NBA finals. If you take Kevin Durant away from Golden State, they only had 3. And Skip, I feel that was the difference in the ball game. Was the one team was balanced from basically top to bottom, because they only played basically 7 guys, and the other team relied on a couple of guys. And Steph Curry, we're going to touch on this a little later, Skip, he came up small again.
We might touch on it very soon, like just in a couple of minutes when it's my turn.
Oh, you about to touch?
Yes.
You about to touch on it now?
Touch on it, yes. Are you finished?
I'm finished. Go ahead. Take it away, bro.
Quick point on Kyle Lowry. I told you after you were killing him after game 2 in Toronto, he always has played better away from Toronto because he always crumbles under the home pressure of Raptor Nation to live up to what he and DeMar DeRozan could never quite live up to, mostly because of your man, LeBron James, because they just genuflected in his presence and dropped to their knees and said, we are not worthy. And LeBron crushed them and crushed them and crushed their spirit. And Kyle is still having a hard time living up at home. But if you let him get away from home on the road, he takes a big old sigh of relief, and you saw what happened again last night. Now, to my man, Klay Thompson, whom I predicted before the finals would be the MVP. I went way out on that limb, and I said, Klay Thompson is going to be the MVP. And last night, with about 3 minutes left in the third quarter, he was well on his way to winning MVP because they were well on their way to winning Game 6 and forcing a Game 7. And then that happened. And just quick point of order, if the sneakers, so to speak, were on the other foot today, and there's a questionable bet on the table here because I'm not sure you accepted the bet, but that's okay. You accept after you win the bet, but whatever. The point is,
I initiated the bet.
Yeah, but then I said, okay, I accept, and you didn't say, okay, we got a bet. But that's okay. I'm going to give you this one. But if the sneaker were on the other foot, I would rescind the bet because clearly I was going to win the bet. The whole world knows I was going to win the bet, and you know in your heart of hearts I was going to win the bet, except the injury god said no again to me because clearly I had already lost Kevin Durant after I'd lost him to a calf injury, and then I lost him to an Achilles rupture out of nowhere. And then right on schedule, just when I thought Klay had assumed control of the NBA Finals off that fast break 3 that you just detailed, that happened, and I was dumbfounded. I just fell on the floor. I rolled on the floor. I couldn't believe it. It happened again. So if I were on the winning end of this bet, I'd say, let's just disqualify that bet because that doesn't count. No, you know it, and I know it.
Well, you're not on the winning end of the bet, so no, I'm not going to disqualify.
Okay. Well, I didn't think you would, but I know what I would do. Now, it is my turn to once again put into perspective what just happened to number 2. Once again, he proved that crime pays, as in basketball crime. I'm going to say it one last time. I hope this is the last time I have to talk about it. He quit his way out of San Antonio because he and his uncle Dennis wanted out of small market San Antonio and out from under Greg Popovich and the box that he put number 2 in, which is the biggest bunch of baloney I've ever heard. And he quit by exaggerating a thigh bruise that kept him out for 73 games on a team that featured Manu Ginobili and Tony Parker, a team I thought had a chance to get to the finals, but obviously they needed their most talented player, and he flat out quit on him, and he won. Believe it or not, he won because he got every meant-to-be break that you could get along the trail. Joel Embiid is hurt and sick and sick and hurt and sick, which led to the luckiest shot in the history of the NBA playoffs, the one that he beat the buzzer with that bounced 4 times on the rim, that he shot short from the corner. I've never seen a short corner shot do that and still fall. I don't know how it happened. The injury gods, maybe they just wanted to get even with me somehow. I don't know, but the shot fell.
That's exactly what they wanted.
And then we get to the finals, and there's no KD, and then we think there's KD, and then there's Klay. And remember, Klay missed game 3 with a hamstring. Then he fights back in game 4, and then that happened. I don't know. I finally just gave up, and I said, congratulations, number 2. It was meant to be, because sometimes